Welcome to the Preferred Walk-On Show. I'm your host, Seth Saunders, joined as always by my co-host, James Kim. Hot damn, brother. We have made it. Week one is officially here. Games kicked off last night on Thursday night. We are coming to you live here from Johnson Hagood Stadium, home of the Citadel Bulldogs, here in the Low Country, the Holy City, Charleston, South Carolina, where tomorrow Citadel will host the number one team in all the land and the defending national champion, North Dakota State Bison. This place is going to be electric. It's going to be a whiteout, and it is looking to be close to a sellout, if not a sellout, for a noon kickoff tomorrow here between the Bulldogs and the Bison. And, homie, I just cannot be more fired up than I am right now.
Looks beautiful out there. Never seen that stadium before. It looks wonderful. Can't wait for the game. Obviously, I won't be there, but obviously week one's here. College football is back. Really great slate of games last night. Really exciting slate of games tonight as well. Looking forward to this.
Yes, absolutely. So, dude, came down and drove through the campus before I came over to the stadium. First off, beautiful campus. The Citadel, if you're not familiar, is the military college of South Carolina. If you live in Virginia and are familiar with VMI at all, very similar setups. So, and I don't mean campus-wise. I mean, I guess it is a little bit campus-wise. I will say this, and this is no shade one way or the other, much more scenic surroundings here on the Citadel's campus than there are at VMI. So, yeah, we'll just throw that out there. I will say this, too, man. You talk about an incredible perch, incredible spot for a stadium. Johnson Hagood sits in the smack dab, essentially middle of Charleston. It is on the bank of the Ashley River. So when you come into the lobby for the press box, there's this like glass wall in the back or bank of glass windows in the back, and you just look out onto the Ashley. It's incredible. And then you come out to the field, which you see behind me, and you see the Ravenel Bridge like prominently displayed in the background, which connects over Charleston Harbor into Mount Pleasant. I mean, it's just an incredible perch. What a spot, man. Like, Citadel got an incredible history, incredible home stadium, and we are super, super grateful for them hosting us today for this. This is outstanding. I was telling Jay, who is the comms director here, that this is the first time we have ever taped in a stadium before. We've taped outside a stadium before, so this is first time inside. Man, what an awesome setting to do this in. So let's talk about this game first, man, because I'm excited about it. The Citadel has, they are in the Southern Conference. The last time they were in the FCS playoffs was 2016. So it's been a bit, right? But I think there are some high hopes for this year, or higher hopes for this year. Head coach Maurice Drayton is a 98 grad of the Citadel, proud grad. He's also a Berkeley High School grad, which is local here to Charleston. So local guy. So it's one of these things where you'd love to see him do good and build the program. And he's in that magical year 3, right? Where you're hoping that you've got your guys and can do the things that you want to do. They are still a little bit unsettled at quarterback. My expectation is Quentin Hayes started the last 4 or 5 games last year at the Air Force Academy, and he transferred into Citadel and has been competing for the starting job. And my expectation is he will probably get a bulk of the snaps tomorrow, but there's been no public commitment from the Bulldogs on who will start here. They will obviously face a daunting task tomorrow. North Dakota State rolling into town. I mean, I was thinking about this, right? The Bison have won 10 of the last 14 FCS titles. 10. That is a staggering number, all right? And I was trying to put that in the framework of college football, and I was going, they're essentially the Alabama of FCS. But, homie, I don't even think that really does it justice. They are really John Wooden's UCLA Bruins is what they are. I mean, dude, 10 titles in 14 years.
Yeah, it's insane. And they really don't show any signs of slowing down. The only thing that really compares to them in football terms going to D3 is Mount Union from the late 90s going into the 2000s.
Yeah.
And that's, you're going way back in the memory and really diehard college football fans. So
yeah,
Mount Union was a juggernaut back then. So North Dakota State is just, they are a juggernaut. There's really no other way to say it. And they run a really old style, smash mouth style of football and offense. And they're really good in the trenches. They produce some NFL talent there. So not the team you want to open up against if you're any team in the FCS, and especially a team like Citadel who has playoff aspirations.
Yeah, so let me throw this at you too, because this is what I think is amazing. 10 titles in 14 years, like we said, and dude, they've done it with 4 different head coaches, okay? So Craig Bowles started the whole deal, and he won 3. He's now the current head coach at Wyoming. Then Kleeman came in, who was the defensive coordinator under Craig Bowles. He won 4. Now he's the head coach at K-State. Then Matt Entz took over. He won 2. Now he's the head coach at Fresno State. And now Tim Polasek is in charge, and in his first season goes 14-2, wins Missouri Valley, and wins the national title. I mean, dude, it's just a machine. Like, coach independent, it is just a machine. And they, their big player is Trey Lance's brother. So he is up for the Peyton Award, which you and I are familiar, is the Heisman Trophy of FCS. Bryce Lance is Trey Lance's brother. And Trey Lance played at North Dakota State as well. And, God, man, Bryce has just been electric. And their expectation is he is going to have a monster year this year. They are replacing their quarterback. Cole Payton is going to take over and be the signal caller for the Bison this year. But, homie, the road for them is the same every year. They're fixing to try to get to Frisco. And, I mean, that's the long and short. And they're going to try that tomorrow. Monster number on the ball game tomorrow, my friend. We will pick this game later, but it is a huge number. So the interesting part, though, I think about the matchup is North Dakota State is obviously used to doing a lot of what they want and overpowering folks and scoring points and taking care of business. Dude, Citadel runs a spread option system. They led the Southern Conference in time of possession last year, and I think what you're going to see tomorrow is them trying to control clock, shorten the game, keep North Dakota State's offense off the field, and give themselves a shot. So I couldn't be more jacked up to be here in the stadium tomorrow to watch it. Going to bring you live coverage best we can, shooting videos, posting things. So, brother, it's going to be outstanding. So I'm fired up about it.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I think it might be the shortest game that any of us see all season with these two teams. I mean, North Dakota State does have more of an explosive offense, but they do love to run the ball. They don't. Mm-hmm. Their running game is explosive, but they pound the rock. So I think it's going to be a shorter game. You might get home pretty early tomorrow night. I might,
yeah. I mean, might be home in plenty of time for the 3:30 set of kicks tomorrow, which I'm perfectly fine with that. One other thing I was going to tell you, just because this is of interest, I wanted to throw a trivia question at you. So, the Bison have won 10 of the last 14 FCS titles. Who won the other 4? I know you will know one.
Well, the Dukes won. South Dakota State won. Actually, did South Dakota State win 2? Or did they just win
yes. Nope, they won 2. Yep, you're right on track. Yeah. What's the 4th?
When was it? COVID year.
Yeah.
Was it Sam Houston?
Yes, coached by an old CAA friend. This will be the pull of pulls if you yank this out of your behind. Former coach of the Blue Hens.
I'm not going to get that, no.
Casey Keeler. Casey Keeler was the head coach of Sam Houston State during the COVID year. Won the national title. How about that pull, huh?
Hey, I'm proud I just got Sam Houston State. So.
Hey, dude, electric. You got all 4. I mean, that's outstanding. Obviously, the most important one to my boy, 2016. His beloved alma mater, the JMU Dukes, took home the crown.
Dukes. Hey, and went into the Fargo Dome and won. So
that's right.
That was the highlight of the season. Not winning the national championship, going into the Fargo Dome in the semis and winning.
Well, homie, in a lot of ways, that was the national championship, right?
That was the national championship,
you knock off the Bison in the Fargo Dome, you've done something for sure. Also of note to you, because we're old, we remember back in the days where it was played in Chattanooga, which side note, excellent town, very underrated town, like Chattanooga a lot. Then they've been playing it in Frisco for a while. Guess where it moves to next season?
Haven't even looked.
Dude, they're moving it to Nashville, and it will be housed at First Bank Stadium on Vandy's campus, where you and I have been.
Oh, great stadium.
Should we talk about your boys' experience at First Bank Stadium in 2019?
You were struggling that day.
Oh, boy. Struggle does not even begin to describe it. Let's just say Broadway was victorious on Friday night, and I was not. Oh, man. It was a struggle. Dude, didn't we go pregame to the Dog Days tailgate?
Yes.
Like, oh,
yes.
dude. And, we're so jacked up because it's going to be like all you can eat, all you can drink. And we get there, and I'm like, I need life support, man. I need an IV, and I need a bed.
You ended up walking like 2 miles to try to just feel better, which I don't know how that makes someone feel better when they're hungover, but that's you. So
it was a tough look for your boy. I mean, a tough look. And then the Dogs came out and looked very underwhelming against a horrendous Vandy squad, and ended up being kind of a preview of what a frustrating season the really 2019 season was. However, we had an outstanding time.
Oh, it was a great weekend.
Yeah, you, me, and Uncle Chris enjoyed all that Nashville had to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. But, dude, I did like that stadium. Vandy's campus, I was neither here nor there about, but the stadium I thought was cool, and I would bet, given the renovations, because remember when we were there, they had started the renovation. Yeah. So, the one end zone was kind of up, but the baseball stadium was right next door, and really cool, having them right next door. I don't think it was one or two hotels that were right by the stadium, too. So, in theory, you could go stay at the stadium and then just roll out in the morning and go to the ball game, which is, it's cool. So, yeah, I think that'll be a fun setting for the FCS national title. And, who needs an excuse to go to Nashville? I would be delighted to go to the FCS title game and partake in that fantastic town. So yeah, anyways, I just thought you would find that interesting given our affinity for FCS football and our history with FCS football. Also wanted to let you know that I checked the top 25, the AP poll. I guess it's not the AP. I guess just the media poll and the coaches poll for FCS. North Dakota State, number one in both. No surprise there. You want to know what team did not receive a vote in either poll? You want to lob a guess at that?
William & Mary.
That is correct. The William & Mary tribe received 0 votes in either of the top 25 polls. So you can venture a guess as to how my alma mater season is fixing to go at the FCS level. So, yeah. So I've got that to look forward to, which is outstanding. Well, dude, let's talk about the slate of games this week. This is our first pick 10 in a long, long time. And actually, we're going to pick 11 because we're going to pick this game as well. So Let's just go chronological. We're going to start with tonight's game. 2 games tonight. One of them that is interesting for many, many reasons. One, because you've got a Big 12 team playing who I think could surprise a lot of people. And then you've got Hugh Freeze's Auburn, who is in a pivotal year for the War Eagle faithful. And look, man, they got to get going early or it could be a long year to be a Tigers fan. So Auburn going to Waco to play Baylor, 8 o'clock tonight. Auburn is a 1.5-point road favorite. What are your thoughts on this game? You thinking Jackson Arnold and the Tigers get off to a hot start, or are you feeling good about Dave Aranda, Sawyer Robertson, and the Bears in the season opener there at Waco?
I like the Bears in this game. It's a home game. I like their offense. I think they're going to be able to move the ball, and I'm just not sold on Jackson Arnold. We talked about this in the preview, the SEC preview. I'm just not sold on him. He's got good weapons on the outside. I like Cam Coleman. I like Eric Singleton. I think Eric Singleton's a little overrated based off the Georgia game last season, but I don't like Arnold. I'm just not a fan. He could prove me wrong. He could develop a lot, but he's new to this system as well. And Freeze has done nothing at Auburn to show that he is back. So until he does, I'm going with the other team, and I think Baylor wins this game. And I think it'll be close in the first half, but I think they pull away in the second half and win comfortably.
Yeah, man, I'm a little bit in a pickle on this one, picking it, because to your point, we're talking about one team with a returning quarterback who was excellent last year, and you're talking about one team with a transfer quarterback who was, let's just say, less than excellent for his former team last year. And so a lot of new parts for this Auburn offense. And again, like you said, a coach in Hugh Freeze, who I would say if you were having a conversation with Auburn fans and they were being true with you, they're quite disappointed in how it's gone thus far. And that may be the understatement of the century. On the reverse side, you've got Dave Aranda, who that Baylor squad starts last year. And I would say that fan base was a little bit persnickety about what was going on with their ball club. And then they close out the year as one of the hotter teams, not just in the Big 12, but in the country. And so you got to figure with a returning quarterback, and dude, there's an argument made that Sawyer Robinson could be, I know it's hard to say this with Sam Leavitt also returning, but you could make an argument that Sawyer Robinson is one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12, if not the best. I think you put him up there with Rocco, with Sam, up at that level, with Jalen Daniels. I mean, I think he's in that class. And so you're talking about a kid who could throw for potentially 4,000 yards if they play like they anticipate. And then it's Dave Aranda. So they're going to play defense, right? Home field, night game, all these things. The one thing I have a little rub with this is if you go straight based on recruiting and talent, man, Auburn's roster has a lot more of that. And if we're just having strict Jimmy's and Joe's conversations, but I think I'm with you, man. I'm picking the Bears. I like the Bears as a home dog, and I could be proven wrong, and maybe Auburn comes out looking awesome. But they are in the class if I will believe it when I see it. How about that? Yeah.
We're in the same boat. And honestly, I think Aranda's, at this point in time, is a better coach than Freeze. And it comes down to it. Jimmy's and they have the better Jimmys, but I'm perfectly happy with the coaching staff at Baylor. I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, I just think the roster continuity is better too, which I feel more comfortable with. And you brought up a great point. This is a little bit of a tangent, but you were texting with me today about the slow starts in the games last night, the slow starts in the games last Saturday in week 0. And I think it's part and parcel of what we've talked about in all of the preview shows, right? That there's so much of a lack of continuity across these rosters nationwide that I think it's just going to take a little while for guys to kind of feel their oats and whatnot. So anyways, given all that, we're both on Baylor. So also, do you happen to remember what the tally was last year? Where'd the boys end up? I know I did not have as good a year as I am accustomed to, and I'm a little salty about it.
I don't have the numbers, but it was the first year that I won. So,
all right, moving on. Forget I asked. All right, next game tonight, which this is interesting for a lot of reasons too, mainly because of what one team lost and what another team is bringing back and how they finished. The Ramblin' Wreck heading out to Boulder to play Deion's Colorado Buffaloes. And did Georgia Tech 4.5-point road favorites. So 2 road favorites tonight in the games that we're picking. Georgia Tech, a lot of juice from last year. Haynes King coming back, Brent Key's bunch. A lot of people buying that stock, and I don't hate it, to be honest. I like Brent Key. I like what he's doing. And I, if Haynes King can stay healthy, he's a dog, man. Like he's a guy I could line up behind. Colorado announced they are going with Liberty transfer. I'm going to mess this up. You know how bad I am with names. Is it Caden? Caden. Okay, it is Caden. All right, Caden Salter. So Caden Salter obviously did outstanding things at Liberty, transfers into Colorado, and was competing for that job with Juju Lewis. Were you a little surprised by that that's where they went? Or do you think it's just an experience thing?
I think it's an experience thing. I also think that he can do more behind that line because, let's face it, that's where Colorado struggled, is at the lines.
Yeah.
And Juju, he's a true freshman. He would probably panic quicker than Caden would. I think that's why they were with him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. I had seen that, and I thought, oh, man, I think when Juju transferred in, I think that was that's where I thought, I just kind of thought that's where it was going to go, right? Like I thought this is where it'll end up. But obviously I was wrong. And I think, Caden's a proven commodity in a lot of ways. So, yeah, man, that's an interesting spot for them. Obviously, they're replacing the Heisman Trophy winner, Travis Hunter, who's going to be playing both ways for the Jags this year. I mean, where are you sitting on this? Like, I know you said in our previews that you're curious if the Georgia Tech hype will end up being justified, or if there was a lot of juice off of that Georgia game last year and kind of how that's going to play out. But where are you sitting on this? You think them being 4.5-point road favorites justified?
I think Georgia Tech's going to win this game. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than people think. So I'm taking Colorado to cover. I think this could be a 3-4 point game, like 31-27, 30-27 in that realm. But the reason I think I'm picking Georgia Tech to win is the lines. I think that at the line of scrimmage, they are the better team, and they embody their coach. Brent Key, really, I like Brent Key a lot. He's the type of guy that players want to play for, and he's just hard-nosed and old lineman. So I think that they're just better up front, and I think that's where they're gonna win.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, look, you win football games. It's not sexy, but you win them up and down the line. And so, dude, I think that's a great point. That's obviously been Colorado's Achilles heel since Deion took over, and I think they're also in that stage of they've got to prove it, right? Like, we got to see it. And as good as I think Salter is, I mean, I think he's a good quarterback, but you're talking first time playing Power 4 competition. We just don't know. And to your point, is how much is he going to have to move? How much is he going to have to create? And how is that offense going to look without Shedeur and without Travis Hunter, frankly? I mean, dude, look, he was obviously outstanding defensively, but he was their guy on offense. And so, yeah, we'll see, man. I just don't know what Colorado's going to be yet. I do think it's a tough pull to go into Folsom Field on a Friday night and win a football game as a road team, but I think I'm with you. I think I'm going to take the Ramblin' Wreck too. Brent Key just seems like a guy that you would want to play for, like a guy that is going to get you fired up and just ready to kick somebody in the mouth. Like, I don't know. And he just seems to have all the right fire and all the right passion. And yeah, man. And again, this is a huge caveat. Hopefully Haynes King stays healthy through the game tonight and stays healthy throughout the season, because I do think he is a great personality fit for what they want to be as a team and as an offense. So, yeah, I mean, how big you think them losing Singleton is for that offense?
I think it is big, but I think that they have enough in the wide receiver room. They're not going to make it up with one person.
Yeah.
But I think they have enough pieces to make it up. And because their offense is built from the ground out, I think that they'll be okay. They're not built an air raid. They're built running the ball. So I think they'll be okay. If they were a, throw the ball 40, 50 times a game type team, I think losing Singleton hurts more.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, he's a guy, right, that he gives you some wiggle. And so who's that going to be now on that roster? So we're going to see tonight. But I'm with you. I'm taking Georgia Tech too. So
Are you taking Georgia Tech to cover or to win, just to win?
I think I'm taking them to cover too. I like them, man. Yeah. So we're different on this.
So we're different on this one.
This is good. I like divergence. This gives me more chances to win. Okay. Saturday slate, noon kick. We're not going to pick Big Noon first. We'll pick the Syracuse at Tennessee game. All right.
Okay.
Fran Brown reloading his roster. He's got Notre Dame transfer with Steve Angeli coming in to play quarterback for the Orange, and Tennessee replacing Nico with Joey Aguiar, App State's quarterback. Dude, Tennessee 13.5-point favorite in this ballgame. You a little surprised by that? I thought that number was huge.
I was shocked. I mean,
yeah.
I know Syracuse is replacing a ton, but I mean they're replacing so much, but so is Tennessee. Tennessee is replacing almost their entire offense.
Mm-hmm.
So I was shocked at the number. I mean, let's just be honest. I love Fran Brown. I haven't been shy about this. I think Syracuse is going to cover. Is Joey Aguilar going to limit the turnovers? That's what this game's going to come down to. That's what Tennessee season's going to come down to. Let's be quite frank.
Yeah.
I think he fits Heupel's offense, being able to get rid of the ball quickly. But if he can't limit the turnovers, I mean, it's going to be a long season for Vols fans. I think that Syracuse is going to cover, and I would not be surprised. This game could go either way. I don't know who's going to win, but I think it's going to be close.
I did, as soon as I saw this number, I almost texted you. I was like, this feels like a sucker bet. I feel like I'm the sucker and this is a sucker bet because this feels like a slam dunk to me. Just because, and look, maybe this is the bias towards Fran, but like, I love Fran and I have all the faith in the world that that football team is A, prepared, and B, foaming at the mouth to play this game tomorrow. And dude, from what little we saw of Angeli last year when he was replacing Raleigh Leonard, dude, he can ball. All right. I'm okay with him. Like, I'm okay with riding with him. So, yeah, you're telling me they got to cover 13 and a half? I mean,
yeah.
I feel excellent about Syracuse in this game. Now, you watch. Tennessee will come out tomorrow and drop like a 50 spot on Fran. But, dude, I'm taking Syracuse. I'm not even thinking about it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
This is the one game I put on the list. I was like, well, that's easy. I know exactly who I'm taking in that game. So, yeah, we're taking Fran Brown, baby. Also, do you think if I don't even think they have to have as good a year as they had last year. Just if they have another serviceable year, 7-8 wins, go to a bowl, his name's got to start coming up in some conversations, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was shocked it didn't come up after last year.
I was too. I mean, dude, every time I hear him get interviewed or every time I hear him talk about his team, what they're trying to build, I'm like, this guy is it. Like, if I was building a program, he's who I want. He's just, yeah, man. He's got that. The other thing, too, is Fran's got that, like, New Jersey edge to him. Did you see what he said when he got interviewed about Angeli?
Mm-hmm.
So, homie, apparently Angeli's, I'm pretty sure, a New Jersey kid. And when Fran he must have still been at Rutgers. Yeah, he was still at Rutgers, okay? And he was trying to recruit Angeli. And so they asked him about it, like the last couple of weeks. Hey, what about, did you give you a leg up when you were trying to get him like in the portal that you had recruited him? He said, well, his ass wouldn't pick up my calls when I was recruiting him the first time. He's just got that like Jersey, like that edge to him, you know? Like, I don't know, man. His personality is just fantastic. And like, I bet him and Kirby got along swimmingly. Like, they just seem to have very similar, no nonsense, I'm about to get in your ass personalities, right? Like, I just feel like they probably were two peas in a pod. Okay, next one on the slate. Big noon kickoff, college game day, Lee Corso's last college game day. Texas, Ohio State, Arch Manning's season debut in the Horseshoe. How you feel about it? Give me your thoughts. This is a game with a lot of intrigue. Obviously, this is the game of the week for the opener. Some would say the biggest game one in the history of week ones.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a huge game, but in the grand scheme of things, this game means absolutely nothing for either team. Whoever loses this game still has everything in front of them. Whoever wins this game still has everything in front of them. It means nothing. It's storylines. This is for storylines the rest of the season. Whoever wins this game will be propped up the rest of the season. Whoever loses this game, they'll be like, oh, well, they lost this game against whichever team loses. So it's just storyline talk for this. Now, we got two new quarterbacks for both teams. Obviously, both teams have national championship aspirations. This game is going to come down to, just like I said for every other game, the lines. That's why I think, obviously, and home field's a huge in this one. I think Ohio State has the edge here. I know Texas is favored, they're slightly favored, right? Like 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5 point favorite.
So
yep, that's correct.
It's a pick.
Yep.
So neutral field site, they'd be favored by 4.5. To me, it's at home. It's at the Shoe. Texas is replacing 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen. I know Arch can do a lot with his legs, but I think he's going to have to do a lot with his legs tomorrow because they're replacing 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen, and they lost one of their incoming freshmen to a 20 ACL for the year. So he was expected to get a lot of run this season.
Yeah.
He wasn't expected to start, but he was expected to get a lot of playing time, and they were hoping he'd take over that right tackle spot probably halfway through the season. I think that Ohio State's going to be able to fluster Arch. And I'm not sold on Julian Sayin in that offense yet. I think that they're going to, by midseason, both these teams are going to look completely different. But he has proven weapons on the outside, whereas Arch doesn't right now. So Wingo, extremely talented, but he didn't have the season that Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate had last year.
Yeah.
You know, so we're looking at proven weapons on the outside for saying that he can throw up, and they're going to make huge plays. Yeah. That's why I'm leaning Ohio State in this.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. At the beginning of the week and kind of throughout the summer, I felt really good about Texas going into this game. And I think a lot of that was driven by the fact that you knew that Ohio State was going to have somebody new under center and somebody who, you know, hadn't cut their teeth yet, right? And you know how big I am on that. Like, I just think experience at that position, especially in a game of this magnitude, matters so much. But the flip side of that is Ohio State has not just NFL talent, but like top 15 NFL talent at 3 premier positions. Like, dude, you go Jeremiah Smith at wide receiver, you go Bo Atkinson at the edge, and then you go Caleb Downs. And I don't know that any of those I named is more important than Caleb Downs. Like, I think Caleb Downs is the X factor in the game. And I think the chess match that is probably going to be most fun to watch tomorrow is Caleb Downs in that secondary and Arch at quarterback, right? Like, Caleb Downs, now the wily veteran who is one of the best players in America, trying to bait the very heralded but inexperienced, you know, quarterback into some mistakes. And I also, would you be surprised at all if Caleb Downs made some huge play in the return game tomorrow too?
No, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, I mean, I know I'm going with Ohio State, but it would also not surprise me if Anthony Hill has a monster game for Texas.
Yeah.
So, and just, I mean, everybody's expecting him, you know, top 15 pick, Buckus Award winner, like, you know, him to have this monster year. And he's extremely talented. I'm not saying he won't.
Yeah.
But we need to see him take that next step as well.
Yeah, man, dude, it's such a fun game to kind of kick things off with. And I am just not one who's like, oh, well, and to your point, you're exactly right, okay? In the grand scheme of things, the result of this game tomorrow is not necessarily going to matter for either of these ball clubs, right? But the fact of the matter is it's going to be outstanding theater nonetheless, right? Like, this argument that people keep having, like, if the college playoff first off comes into existence and then now if it's expanded, it keeps diminishing the regular season. Dude, I couldn't disagree anymore. Like, you don't think people's eyeballs are going to be glued to that game tomorrow at noon? Like, it's still a monster game that people care about and are going to pay attention to. And, like, in a lot of ways too, doesn't it remind you a little bit? And I know the way Michigan's season went, it doesn't really feel that way. But don't you feel like it was kind of like the Texas-Michigan game last year, where it served as this leaping off point for Texas's season last year?
Yeah.
And kind of was indicative of what Michigan's season became. And so, dude, regardless, this is a huge tone setter for both of those programs and what they think they can be and turning into what they hope to be. So, yeah, dude, I think this is a monster game. So, all right, so who you take? You're taking Ohio State.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's going to win.
I don't know if they're going to win, but, well, I guess if I'm taking them, I guess they have to win. I'm very coin flip on this, but I'm going to take Ohio State too. Caleb Downs is the game turner for me. I just think he's going to do something that flips this game in the Buckeyes' favor. And oh, by the way, the Horseshoe's not the worst home field advantage in America.
No,
right?
Neutral site game, you know, week 7, I might have a completely different opinion on this game, but week 1 at the Shoe, the only thing that would make me pick Ohio State more is if this game was at night.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all those factors, I think, going to be a lot of happy Buckeyes come early afternoon tomorrow. But, so I'm with you. I'm taking the Buckeyes too. I think obviously a lot to live up to coming off the national title, but in some ways, I wonder if that might loosen Ryan Day up, right? Like, dude, he didn't have a monkey on his back. He had a gorilla on his back. And so to win that national title, I wonder if that will alleviate some of that, and maybe he won't get tight like he has in past big matchups. So, yeah, Buckeyes for both of us. Okay, next one, Alabama heading to Tallahassee to play the Noles fans hoped revamped Florida State. Alabama is a big-time favorite in this ball game, 14.5-point road favorite. Obviously, Tom Castellanos has come out and said famously that Nick Saban's not there anymore and they feel confident and blah, 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 which God, how stupid could you be to come out and say some stuff like that? But anyways, where are you sitting on this? I think we're both probably in the same boat on who's going to win this football game. It's more of who is going to cover.
Bama by 100. When we talked about the ACC preview, so it's just, I think this is a make or break year for Norvell. He had that great season 2 years ago. Everything aligned for them, but I just don't see the roster. This is take the coaches out of it. If we're taking the coaches out of it, Jimmy's and Joe's, give me Bama. We put the coaches back into it. I think Kalen DeBoer is a better coach than Mike Norvell.
100%.
At the end of the day. So everything, I give the edge to Bama. I don't see an edge that Florida State has other than the home field. And I think by halftime, most fans are going to be gone. So I don't have a reason to look at this game and think Florida State's going to be able to keep it close, other than the fact that this is Ty Simpson's first start.
Yeah, man, I think I'm with you. Kalen DeBoer.
Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, sorry, Uncle Jeff. God, he's going to be so upset. We're going to be getting text messages about this. Sorry, Uncle Jeff. I don't believe in them. They are. Last season was the face plant of all face plants, and until they can prove otherwise, I can't be saying that they're going to hang in with, Alabama. And that roster is outstanding, and I think they're fixing to go in there and plant a flag and say, we are still here, folks. Like, I think if I was Kalen DeBoer, and I'm interested to get your take on this, wouldn't the whole mission of the offseason to just be replaying, like, the game against Vandy, the game against Oklahoma, like all these games, like, this is not our standard. This is not what we are. Like, we can't be this anymore. And just kind of reestablish that this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to win football games. This is how we're going to play. Plus, I told you this on the SEC preview. I think it's huge getting his seat back. So I think adding that back in the mix brings a whole different dynamic. And so, yeah, I like the Tide in this ballgame. I think it's going to be a fun afternoon to be a Roll Tide fan. So, yeah, dude, the other thing is, do you really believe in Gus and Tommy? Like, is that what we're saying? If you're rolling with FSU, like you're rolling with Gus and Tommy? Like, God, dude.
Yeah, a long season for Noles fans again. Sorry, I don't see it.
I mean, you're talking about somebody that lost his starting job at Boston College. Come on, man. Like, that's what we're pinning our hopes to.
That's tough.
I don't know. Tough. Is that kind of a ricochet shot? I'm not trying to be a ricochet shot. I'm just saying that's how it reads to me. Okay. Like,
and I know it's talking season, but at the end of the day, and I know NIL's changed everything, but this is still college football. You don't want the face of, and I said this in the previous show, you don't want your quarterback, who's supposed to be your leader and the face of your program, to be talking crap about your opponents. You just don't. Confidence is one thing, but you don't want to talk down to your opponent. And that's how this looks. Yeah. In my opinion.
Not any opponent, but with an asterisk, especially that one. Yeah. Not smart. All right. Well, we're both on the Tide. Okay. The battle for the real Death Valley tomorrow night. LSU heading to, as my daughter would say, Clemson. That's with a P. Anyways, yes. So Clemson is a 4.5-point favorite hosting Brian Kelly Tigers. I'm still very upset that there's not something riding on this where one of them loses the privilege to call their stadium Death Valley for some prescribed period of time. Like, there needed to be some juice around this. I feel like there's so much about that. Did you see somebody was asking this question? I think it was somebody was asking Jacob Hester. They were like, which one do you think's the real Death Valley? And he's like, well, look, obviously I'm biased. It's LSU. He goes, but come on, man. You walk into Tiger Stadium and you just smell the bourbon. And I went, well, that's fair. I mean, yeah. I think that's the defense rests, Your Honor. Yeah. So well played, Jacob Hester. But
no kidding.
Also, first time in Clemson Death Valley history that they will be selling beer at the stadium. They asked Dabo about that, and he said, well, are we going to act like it's not been in that stadium before? Also
Dabo
true.
Dabo getting a little cheeky.
A little cheeky. Also true, also funny. So, yes, both stadiums averse with boozing. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. So, where you sit on this? I mean, where are you feeling about this? I know we talked about both these teams a lot in the SEC and ACC preview, but how do you feel about how this matchup might go tomorrow night?
You should know my answer to this already.
I do. I do know your answer.
I'm going with
I think there's only one person in these United States that you have less faith in than Brian Kelly, and that's James Franklin.
Yeah, but aren't they playing like Western Michigan or something? So.
Yes, they're not even on the pick sheet because their game is so lackluster. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going with Clemson. You said 4.5? They're favored by 4.5.
4.5. Yeah.
I can't remember what I picked on Tally, honestly, because I did it yesterday. I did it earlier today. I think I picked LSU to cover, but I think no matter what, I'm changing it now. I'm going with Clemson to cover.
Oh, a little switcheroo. I like it.
Well, I can't remember. I might have picked LSU. I mean, I might have picked Clemson to cover earlier. I just honestly don't remember, but that's what I'm picking now.
Here's my thing, okay? This is my bugaboo with LSU is I need to see if their defense is going to be serviceable at all before I can form an opinion about them one way or the other, right? Because, listen, I have faith in Garrett Nussmeier. I have faith in Brian Kelly. I told you on the SEC preview show, I think Berrien Brown is he is, for me, the most underrated ad in the transfer portal nationwide. Like, I think that's a fantastic scheme fit, and I think he's such a weapon for Nuss and that offense to use. My thing with them is, are they going to be able to stop a nosebleed? Dude, I just don't know. And until we see otherwise, man, I know he was injured too, but, like, can we talk about Harold Perkins a little bit? Like, yeah. What a roller coaster.
That was very strange. It wasn't take the injury out of it. It was the way they were using him last season that was so shocking to me. I never understood that. Great freshman year, and then it was just like, okay, we're just going to completely take everything he did great his freshman year. We're going to do the exact opposite this season.
Yeah, dude, I couldn't make heads or tails of it, and I just feel like what an underutilized asset it felt like, given what he did as a freshman. And so he could be one of the ultimate X factors across college football if he is A, healthy, and B, even close to what he was, not just his freshman year, but let's take it even further, at the end of his freshman year. Like, yeah. I feel like at the end of his freshman year, he was becoming an absolute field tilter, right? Like, he was shifting the game. And so if he becomes that, LSU becomes a whole different animal. And so, boy, I got an eye on him. I can't wait to see what he's going to be. But you flip it over to Clemson and, like, A, home field, B, night game, C, quarterback with a ton of experience returning, D, big-time NFL talent across the D-line. Like, man, they got a lot of things to like in that matchup, especially in a season-opening matchup. So,
an offensive line that's played together for seemingly forever.
Absolutely. And, dude, Matt Luke does a good job. And so I think that's the other part of this is, yeah, man, I like a lot of what Clemson's got going on. And until I see otherwise, I just can't get full throated behind LSU just because I don't know what that defense is going to be, man. And to your point, BK is seemingly allergic to winning an opening game that matters. So, yeah, I'm with you. I'm taking the Clemson Tigers. That's for you, Scoops. All right, next game. I put this on the list for a couple reasons. Obviously, it's not super sexy from, say, a rankings or an intrigue matchup, but let's just say I am personally interested in it. And that is Utah heading out to the Rose Bowl to play UCLA. Obviously, the big storyline here with UCLA is first start for Nico after the transfer from Tennessee. A lot of reports coming out about how impressed everybody's been. UCLA's football program is, let's just say it straight. I mean, is saying it's been in the gutter too strong, or is that appropriate?
I can't think of another term for it. Yeah, that's appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, they've just been bad. Side note on UCLA, can we talk about, for me, one of the more electric uniforms in college football? Like, just so clean. Oh, so clean. Like, yeah. So anyways, that's neither here nor there. But this Utah team, you know how I am about this, but they bring in Dan Pierre from New Mexico to play quarterback. And we're talking about Kyle Whittingham and his defense and just his track record as head coach, right? And you're telling me that we're not riding the Cam Rising injury roller coaster anymore, and we got a quarterback? Like, dude, the Utes could be something, I think, right? Like, they just feel like one of these teams where if all the things get percolating and into the pot right, ooh, they could be spicy. Like, where are you feeling this? Am I being crazy about that or what?
No, I love Kyle. I think he's a great coach, and defense always travels. So if they can be one of those teams that can figure out how to throw the forward pass again, and not rely on to the wheelchair-bound Cam Rising, which this season we finally will see how this works out. I'm not sold on the quarterback, so we'll kind of see. I do like the fact they brought over the OC. I think that's a good thing. But we'll see. But I'm not sold on UCLA either. This particular game, I like the Utes. Season wise, I like the Utes better than UCLA, but I think Utah will have a much better season this year than they did last season. 5-7. Was that the first losing season they've had in 9 years, something like that?
Yeah. And God, it was Murphy's Law for them last year too. Yeah. I mean, everything went wrong. Like, it was about as bad as it could be. Dude, I put this on here strictly so we could talk about Utah.
Yeah, okay, I figure. I think Utah's on the right trajectory. Finally, they're on the right trajectory.
Yeah. I think somewhere deep inside hope that they end up playing in the Rose Bowl, because when they do the U helmets with the rose through the U, I mean, it's just world class. So I probably have some secret hope for that. But I guess it's different now because they have no conference affiliation, but it's still my hope. Maybe it'll be CFP, and I don't guess Rose Bowl's in CFP rotation this year. So maybe it could work out. Because how does all that function if, you're the Rose Bowl, they still have the conference affiliation in a non-CFP year, yes? So it would still be Big Ten.
Well, they're still part of it. They're still part of the CFP with the expansion.
I know, but are they in the rotation this year? I guess they will be for quarters at least, right?
For quarters, yeah. Someone will always get the quarters, and then the remaining two will get the semis. That's how it works.
Yeah, okay. I was situating all that. I always mix that up now with
which I hate, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I don't love it either. So yeah, then it is feasible that they could play in the Rose Bowl theoretically if they have a good season in the Big 12. Yeah, dude, they're just one that I kept looking at the stuff, and I feel like they're not getting a lot of juice, and I get it. They're transfer quarterback. You got a transfer quarterback coming from New Mexico, which obviously not awesome, but he was awesome. And so I think that's what gets me fired up about it, is like they could have an offense with, I mean, dude, they always play great defense. And I feel like the other thing about Utah too is, dude, they always have a good O-line. So it's like they have road graders every single year at Utah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in them. And look, the Nico thing is interesting. It is a compelling story. We're talking about essentially an unsuccessful holdout at his former university, and then just saying, well, I'll just declare free agency and go somewhere else. I mean, that's essentially what happened in real terms.
Yeah, it's an interesting storyline. It's an interesting storyline for people to watch, but at the end of the day, this team's not going to be good. It's only interesting for him and how this works out, because if he's successful, this is going to not going to do good things for college football.
Let me tell you something about him that had changed my opinion a little bit. You could kind of see it on TV, but I was at the Tennessee-Georgia game last year at Sanford, and, you know, just like with Mike Bobo at Georgia or any other offensive coordinator or play caller across America, when things don't go well, the OC, the avalanche comes down, right? Like all the discord falls on him. And so I feel like Josh Heupel's received a lot of that, especially last year when that offense kind of stopped and started. But I'm going to tell you something, man. I came away from that game thinking one thing and one thing only. Nico does not do an excellent job of processing. Because let me just tell you something. There were Tennessee receivers running wide open all night long. Like, it was not a schematic problem. It was a function of, dude, he just didn't find them. Like, and I'm not talking some difficult exotic reads. I'm talking like he was just missing his first look. Like he couldn't see it. And so I came away from that game going, oh my Lord, like, is this what Heupel has schemed up? And I'm like, let's just have a very open conversation. Georgia's defense was not what Georgia's defense has been, I would say. But even still, they were a good defense. And there were guys running butt naked all night long, and he just couldn't find them, man. So that game could have looked very, very different if he was, I think, what they anticipated he was going to be. And in some ways, I will say this, you and I have been on this train since he was playing there, and we have said this a lot. And I feel like it gets rosier and rosier as the years go by. Dude, how good does Hendon Hooker look now? Yeah. Like, as the years have passed with what he did in that offense.
Yeah, he was amazing in that offense. And people are going to be like, oh, well, he just got cut by Detroit. Who cares what happened in the NFL? We're talking about what he did at Tennessee.
Dude, plus he was hurt. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like you come back from those injuries and it's 50-50. Like, you either are back at what you were or you're not. And to try to be that at the NFL level, like, it's just tough. And so I'm just talking about what he was when he was healthy that last year in Knoxville, and he was electric. And so I hope his legacy is properly lauded and respected, given what he did in Heupel's offense. So yeah. Anyways, fun game. I think we're both taking the Utes, correct?
Yeah.
Long way of saying that, but we're back. It took us 10 minutes, but we have landed the plane on that game.
Yeah.
Okay. Here is another ball game getting played at the Benz this weekend. Virginia Tech playing South Carolina. South Carolina, a 7.5-point favorite on Sunday, 3:00 kick at the Benz in Atlanta. I'm imagining we're both going to be in the same boat on this. This was just too many storylines here not to chat about, given, Shane Beamer's history, family lineage, all the things, right? And I think also we would be remiss if we didn't talk about a lot of the scuttlebutt and chatter about when Virginia Tech eventually fires their head coach after this season, which is going to happen.
Unless they make a run, it's definitely going to happen.
Which they will not. I feel very confident, 2 feet down, all 10 toes, saying that right now, that's not going to happen. And so they're going to back up a Brinks truck to Columbia and try to get Shane to come home. Don't you think?
Yeah, and if Shane is smart, he will leave, because Sellers is gone. Sellers is gone after this year.
Yes.
Well, unless he gets hurt, but more than likely Sellers is gone after this year.
You think he could recruit and win there in Blacksburg?
I think he could. Well, I mean, let's look what he's done in South Carolina. If they give him time to recruit, and if they expect an immediate turnaround, if they're expecting immediate results like in 2 years, then they're going to have failure. If they give him time to build how he built South Carolina, I think that they can win. They're not going to be, Frank Beamer's Virginia Tech, like with Michael Vick. They're not going to be competing for national championships, but they can compete for, conference titles and playoff spots.
I'm going to push back on that a little bit, and I could be wrong. Okay. And the reason I could be wrong is because the national landscape has shifted. Okay. I think in a lot of ways, the reason that George Welsh before him became successful at the University of Virginia and then Frank Beamer became successful in Blacksburg is they both were very, very smart and targeted about monopolizing recruiting in the 757. Yes?
Yeah, and it's national recruiting now. 757 talent is elsewhere.
Correct. So now the 757 is not this well-kept secret. And so, and I'm not saying it was before, okay? Like, dude, Ronald Curry ended up at Carolina. So it's not like people weren't going in there and trying to pull talent out. But what I'm saying is it used to be, you could essentially say, I'm going to put a gigantic wall around the 757. And as long as I keep that pipeline flowing here, we're going to be good, right? Whether that's, dude, you think about those Tech teams and it's Mike Vick and it's D'Angelo Hall and it's all of it, right? And so what I'm asking or what I'm positing is in today's culture, in today's landscape, with the way the internet is, with the national scale of things, with NIL, can Virginia Tech play on that playground anymore? And I would submit they've got a motivated enough donor base where if they mobilized and had the capital, yes, they could. But they've got to do that, right? Like, I think that's their inlet, is they've got to take back their state, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think with the NIL, I don't think that it's going to be that much of an issue. I think they can get the people in the portal. Yeah, I'm with that. I mean, it's just one of those things, man. Like, I wonder if he could go there and be successful that way. So I don't know if he has the time, because you gotta remember, South Carolina, he wasn't successful to begin with either. They wanted him gone after year 2.
Well, and so that's why I bring up the Virginia angle, man, is because that's essentially what he did here. He has done a nice job of getting South Carolina kids to stay in state. Not all the time, obviously, but he's done it enough where, and dude, Lenore Sellers, South Carolina kid. Like, that's a big get getting him to stay in state.
But he also wasn't, the top 100 recruit either.
Absolutely. Yeah. Also, homie, are you bumping with me right now?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Electric. I mean, I hope the audio's okay, but I'm not mad at it one bit. Okay, like we got in stadium audio, and I am not upset about it. With just a little background music for the rest of this preview, my friend. It's Friday night and the feeling's right. That's where we're at. Okay. Okay. So I think we're both kind of the same on this. We both like South Carolina in this game. Yes? Yeah. I mean, I like them to cover. I think Virginia Tech's roster is bare.
Yeah.
And they had so much returning last year. And so last year was the year and it just didn't happen. So that's kind of where it sits. But I just wanted to talk to you because I think it's fascinating, given obviously Shane's daddy's history there, and Shane played there, coached there, all the things. And so it's natural to think that they would make a run at him now that he's had some success as a head guy at dude, I think having success as an SEC school is justified enough to say big-time program. I know historically South Carolina wouldn't fall in that box, but it is from a SEC standpoint, right? So that'd be a huge get for Tech as a program. So going to be a long day for the VPI fans, though. Not going to be a lot of hokey high Tech VPI tomorrow on Sunday.
No, it's not.
Yeah, going to be a long one. Dude, we haven't talked about this game really a lot at all in the previews, and we didn't preview Notre Dame, obviously, because they're not associated with a Power 4 conference. this is going to give us an opportunity to do that a little bit. But Sunday night, man, Notre Dame rolling down to Coral Gables to play at Hard Rock Stadium, which is nowhere near Coral Gables, by the way. Probably the most agnostic home field advantage in the United States of America. But Carson Beck's debut for the U, Mario Cristobal and his crew, I think, have very high hopes given what they have returning on their offensive line. Dude, Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love coming back. That defense has a ton of talent coming back. Marcus Freeman does an excellent job there. Where are you at on this, man? What are you feeling on this? Notre Dame is a 2.5-point road favorite. Road favorite.
I have gone back and forth on this game probably 1,700 times. I have no feel for this game at all.
Yeah. Yep.
Every time I lean Miami, I just think about Cristobal and the choke jobs he had last year, and with all the talent they had with Cam Ward and how that team should have made the playoffs and, made a run, and they didn't. And then every time I try to pick Notre Dame, I think about all they lost, and then every time they played at Miami recently, they've just gotten curb stomped.
Yeah.
So I have no feel for this. So this is strictly, I'm going with who I think the better coach is, and I'm going with Notre Dame because I think Freeman's a better coach. That's my analysis.
Yeah, for me, this is how well is Miami's offensive line going to be able to protect Carson Beck? I think this is the storyline for Sunday night. I think it's the storyline for Miami's 2025 season. You and I are intimately familiar with Carson Beck behind center. And this is what I'll say about Carson. If he has time, if he has a clean pocket, he is a weapon. He can make every single throw on the football field, and he's got an NFL caliber arm, okay? Here's the issue. If you pressure him at all, he transforms into Rube Baker, and he immediately gets the yips and cannot throw the ball back to the pitcher. I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're not. It's just, that's a great comparison. A great analogy. I didn't think about that.
That's who he is, dude. Like, he will start seeing 22 people on defense if you pressure him. And given what you said, right, Marcus Freeman is a defensive guy. They've had an entire offseason to prepare. You don't think they're going to have exotic blitz looks and things that are going to confuse him and some different things where they look like they're bringing pressure and then we drop and dude, I just worry about Carson's ability to process and make good decisions if they pressure him at all. And so, I don't know, man. I just, given what I saw their defense do against Georgia last year and throughout the CFP, I think they're going to give Carson problems. I really do. And look, again, the X factor in this is if Miami's offensive line is what they can be, and they've got a lot coming back, that changes things because clean pocket, he's going to do some stuff, man, and he is going to make some throws. But look, you go back to Alabama and Tuscaloosa, Ole Miss and Oxford. This is the other one that doesn't get talked about enough. Even Texas and Austin, remember?
Yeah.
I mean, he was seeing 18 different Longhorns on defense. And
hey, SEC championship game against Bama.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's where I worry about him, man. Like, they have all the ingredients in the soup to be excellent. I just don't know if Carson is capable of being what he is going to have to be. Like, because here's the thing, okay? Georgia needed him to be elite last year in order to be realistically in the CFP title conversation. And he wasn't, and they didn't go, okay? I feel the same way about Miami. They need him to be 2023 Carson Beck. Is he going to be that? My gut tells me no. And so I'm with you, brother. I think the Irish are victorious on Monday or Sunday night. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Can we have I don't want to harp on Carson too much, but can we have just a brief, real talk about Carson for a second?
Yes,
the
let's do it.
2023 season. Remember the schedule. You had the 4 cupcake games.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen to our stuff, or if you remember, after those 4 games, were we thinking, oh my God, this team is going to make a run? Because those 4 games were kind of underwhelming. And then I don't remember who they played in the 5th game, but then we had the away game against Auburn. And then after that game, we were kind of like, oh, this doesn't look good. And then it was like started slowly to build. And then after the Ole Miss game was when everybody was talking about how great Carson was.
Wow, that was the 50 burger night.
Yeah,
they hang the 50 burger on Ole Miss in between the hedges. So yeah,
but you look at the season as a whole. If you break it down into segments, it's like he got hot towards the end.
Yeah,
but for the majority of the season, it wasn't this great, awesome season that he had.
Yeah. No,
his stats look great. But it's just a season as a whole, he wasn't like this impressive guy that you saw on tape and you were like, wow, this is an outlier.
Well, and dude, you bring up the Auburn game. Remember, they should have lost that football game. That was the game. That was the game where Brock Allen Bowers said, all right, boys, just jump on my cape. Jump on my cape. I'll fly our ass back to Athens with a win.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it, And so I do think that's the other big thing with Carson's narrative from 23 is I don't know that there's no Ladd McConkey and no Brock Allen Bowers in Coral Gables either. That's the other piece of this that should get talked about. And here's the funny thing, man. Ladd has never gotten enough shine for his part in that 23 success. And, dude, he wasn't healthy. But you look at the rookie season he had, the rookie season Brock had, and you start going, oh, wait. Maybe like a ham sandwich could have had a good year behind center with those two running around, right? Like it just changes the math a little bit on how you evaluate stuff. So, no, I think that's a great point. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of juice around him, but yeah, no, that's a great point. Okay, last game of the FBS slate that we'll pick. So again, we're both on Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Last game on the slate is Bill Belichick, Chapel Bill's debut with Sonny Dykes and the TCU Horned Frogs coming to town with Josh Hoover in tow at quarterback. Carolina announced they are going to start Gio Lopez at quarterback. No surprise there for me. Any surprise there for you?
No, not surprised. I mean, you don't go out and get a guy like Gio if you're not going to play him.
Yeah, I agree. And plus, I just don't think Max Johnson's healthy. And who would expect him to be? Like, that injury was terrible. So, yeah, no surprise there for me. TCU is a 3.5-point road favorite. A lot of road favorites this week going into Chapel Hill. I can tell you this, and I think you're in the same boat. Chapel Hill is a team I would like to go cover. I would like to go to a game. What is that, Kenan Stadium? Is that right?
Yes.
I would love to go to a game at Kenan Stadium. Really, most importantly, I would love an excuse to go partake in Franklin Street.
Yeah. I don't know. Can we survive Franklin Street?
No, not at this decrepit old age that we are now. It's like that. My dad used to say this all the time. It always makes me laugh. But now that we are getting older, it rings so much more true. And the long and short is we could do it for one night. I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. That's how we are now. Yeah. It would be the Saturday morning wake up. That would be the problem.
It'd have to be a night kick.
Yes, it would have to be a night game, and we would both have to have 8:30 a.m. appointments at one of those Restore locations where they plug you into the IV. Yeah. They put us in there. We'd walk in their corpses and walk out half living. I'll put it that way.
That's about right.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it would be. But, yeah, I mean, how do you feel in this, man? Here's my thing with Bill. Obviously Bill's been put through the ringer, and it's been easy to pick on him with the girlfriend that's, 24 years old or however old she is. She's barely graduated high school. Let's put it that way. And, yeah, dude, like just a lot of weird stuff happening. But the long and short of it is the guy knows how to coach defense. And I think Gio Lopez is a pretty good quarterback. So I do think they're interesting. The flip side of that is I think this is a horrendous draw for them to open the season because TCU has a fantastic quarterback. And I am very much on record that Sonny Dykes can coach, brother. And so you're talking about a Horned Frogs team that has its eyes on upending the apple cart in the Big 12 coming in to open up your new era with Bill Belichick. So, like, where are you at on this? Where are you feeling on this? Again, TCU 3.5-point road favorite in this ball game.
I'm all over TCU. I'm all over TCU. I think they come in, and I think TCU has the better Jimmys and Joes. I think that not only do I think that they have the better coach right this second, he knows the collegiate game. It's just Belichick's been out of it for a while. Belichick can coach defense, but how's he constructed this roster? For the collegiate game. I said this in our preview show. He's used to coaching men. He's used to coaching, professionals. I know they get paid now, but these are 18 to 22-year-olds. How is he going to relate to them? I just don't know. I think TCU goes in. I think this is probably going to be a long season for North Carolina.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I am very, very curious how he will connect with a group of 18 to 22-year-olds. I really am. Because, look, man, nobody that played for him in New England is walking away telling stories about how much they love Bill, right? Yeah. I think everybody respects what the process was and how he could build. I'm just going to put it out there too, homie. And I know it's kind of a chicken or egg thing, but what success has Bill had as a head coach without Tom Brady at quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, there's enough evidence now, I feel like, between his time in Cleveland and the time post-Tom in New England where that's a valid question to ask, no?
Especially because Tom won without him.
Correct. I will also say, dude, the more you hear from Tom and his post-playing career and you hear from guys that played with him, you start to go, was it Bill? Or like who was setting the standard actually, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I think Tom should get a lot more credit for that than he probably historically has. And so, and look, man, I'm not debating, okay? Bill can coach defense. Bill coached great defenses in New York with Parcells. Built a great defense in Cleveland. Although, again, I'll just throw in the ring. Nick Saban was with him in Cleveland. So,
that's true.
I don't know. His legacy gets more muddied for me as you flesh it out, I think. It's kind of where I'm at with it. But I'm with you. I love the Horned Frogs in this ball game. I think Josh Hoover's a good quarterback. I think Sonny Dykes is going to have that ball team ready to go. And, dude, that's another one with an electric Rose Bowl helmet possibility. What did they have? They had the Horned Frog with the rose in its teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was white. And it was a white helmet.
Yeah. I'm all about that.
Mask, purple face
mask. Yeah. Put me on. I'll take one of those. I'm in on that. All right, dude. Electric slate that we just picked. Okay. None of them am I more excited about than the one that we're fixing to pick right now, baby. And that's the one that is getting played here tomorrow at noon Eastern in front of a packed house of rabid Citadel Bulldogs faithful, homie. North Dakota State, the number one team in all the land, coming in here to the Low Country to take on the hometown Bulldogs. 30.5-point spread in this ball game, my friend. So, where are you sitting with this? You think the Bison are covering that in their season debut, defending their title, or do you think Citadel holds the home field and covers that? I don't know if either one of us is going to go as far as to say that.
No, I don't think Citadel's going to win.
I don't think so either. 30.5, dude. 31 points, a lot of points, homie.
It is a lot of points, and if this is the number one team, if this is Ohio State playing a team, or Texas playing a team that's they're considered. That they're expected to,
if they were playing South Dakota State.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean,
different conversation.
It's that spread's 49 points. The reason the spread's so low is the type of ball that Citadel plays and the type of ball that North Dakota State plays. They 2:00, so they're expecting this to be a little bit lower scoring game. With that being said, I still think that they're going to cover. I still think that they're going to cover. Their defense is just too good, man. Their defense is just, it's loaded.
Oh, no faith. No faith in the hometown 22.
I'm
Unbelievable. He has the audacity, ladies and gentlemen, to make that pick with this magnificent vista in the background.
It's beautiful. I'm not saying it's not beautiful. I just, I got to go with what I think. So
he sits there in his ivory tower with his outstanding coif of hair and his magnificent beard, and he's just with the favorites. First off, can we take a moment, just a moment for this fit right now?
Oh, it's beautiful.
I mean,
I love the shirt. I love the shirt.
Look at this. We can take the mic off. Look at this. Just what an electric logo. Okay, they should be doing this full time. Like this should be on the helmet. And then look, we got also, this is my favorite logo that they have. Get some. That is primo. Okay. So, dude, I am 110% taking the Citadel to cover in this game.
Yeah, I figured.
Plant that flag right here in the ground, baby. This is where I'm gaining some ground this season. Okay, I think that the Bulldogs are going to be real pesky in the first half, keep it tight enough. North Dakota State, I don't think going to have any problem walking out of here with a victory tomorrow. But the Bulldogs going to give the hometown crowd something to root for here in the first half. I can't speak for the second half now. But first half, we're going to keep it tight, okay? And I think they're going to be all right. Here's my thing I am interested in, man. Dude, Quentin Hayes, if he plays quarterback tomorrow, pretty sure Air Force was on a 4-game winning streak when he became the starter last year. Oh, homie, look. Do you hear that? Holding everyone on that play. We're getting a mic check right now. This is outstanding. I think I may have to make this our home recording now. Like I cannot get enough of the sounds right here. You're lucky that I didn't bust out and just absolutely break it down a little bit while I had my soundtrack working on the previous 3-game picks, because if you could see my legs in this video, I was bouncing, my friend.
Not surprised at all.
I mean, it was looking like an Essex high school dance circa 1999, brother. Your boy was wiggling, all right? All right, I digress. So, anyways. Oh, you hearing that one? You hearing that one?
Yeah.
You cannot make this up right now. This is outstanding. Keep it going, brother. If I could find him right now, I'd put him on the show. So, anyways, Quentin Hayes, okay? If he plays tomorrow, he was expected to be the starting quarterback at Air Force and transferred out. So we're not talking like some ho-hum guy, okay? We're talking about a guy with FBS experience that, dude, they played really well. I'm pretty sure even though they only started 4 games, maybe 5, they won the last 4, something like that. Even though he only played that little bit, he ended up being Air Force's second leading rusher. So talking about a guy that can play. And so, again, we'll see. Obviously, the quarterback is the straw that stirs the drink. So we're going to see. Also, and I'm going to screw this up because I cannot remember his name, but, dude, one of Citadel's preseason Phil Steele all-conference picks is from Richmond.
Really?
Yes. D-tackle, I'm pretty sure. So I'll be actively rooting for him. I'll be actively rooting for him tomorrow. But, yeah, man, I'm taking Citadel to cover to win, though. I'm not getting that crazy. Okay.
So we're only different on 2 picks.
Wasn't that right? Is that it?
I think it was 2.
Oh, geez. It's not a. This is a auspicious start.
Colorado and Citadel. I think that was it.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to go back and mark them down so I can keep track tomorrow. All right. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is one of the more fun preview episodes we've ever done. At least for me. I hope it was fun for the listeners. And God, what a phenomenal setting for this. Like, yeah, this is awesome. I cannot wait to be here to cover this tomorrow. Once again, thank you to the Citadel for allowing us the opportunity to do this. This is outstanding. And can't wait to be here tomorrow and bring you coverage of this. And, yeah, we'll cover everything else tomorrow too, man. I think I might swing down to Red Palm is where for the one is here, y'all. Rejoice. And we'll be back with some recaps next week and previewing next week. And until then, kiss your nooch.